Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Zelos Mako 300 GMT with the Malachite dial. This is the Timekeepers Limited Edition. All of Zelos watches are limited editions, but this one is especially made for the Timekeepers group. It was held back from the sale for, I think, a week or two to give the Zelos Timekeepers Facebook group members the first shot at it. So price for this watch was $549, and now it's, well, it doesn't really matter what it is now, but now it's $649. It has been sold out. Zelos offers it's not really a pre-order price. It's like for the first couple weeks or so, they give you a lower price. Then after that time frame is up, then the price will go up. So we have a domed sapphire crystal with AR coating on the inside. It's kind of a box dome sapphire crystal, but it has a little bit more dome than some of the other box dome sapphire crystals I have seen. Hopefully you can see that dome there. So a little bit of distortion, but at the very extreme angles. You do see some reflections from that dome, but it does again have that AR coating applied to the underside. We have a ceramic bezel insert, which matches very nicely with that high gloss dial. And that malachite dial is very beautiful. I've not seen malachite in person before like this, and it looks great. And those indices give some depth too. Looks like they're sitting on top of glass. It's a very neat look. It's a very good looking watch. I will give it that. We do have a chapter ring in there with the 24-hour scale, so you could technically track 3 time zones. You could use the local hands for your local time, a GMT hand for GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, and then you could set the bezel to your home time or however you want to do it. I really don't have much experience with using a GMT watch. I really don't have much need for one, but I always like how they look. And also you may have noticed this is a bi-directional bezel. 48 click bi-directional. I believe the Rolex Pepsi GMT is 24 click, and I have another GMT watch that's also 24 click, but 48 works fine. Super Luminova C3 Lume and BGW9 Lume is applied to this watch. We'll check out the Lume at the end of the video here. And you can see the Zelos logo is applied, and then we do have some printing there with the GMT 300 meter 1000 feet text. So yes, this watch is rated to 300 meter, which I would assume is a reason for the thickness of this watch. It is quite thick, 16 millimeter thick from the case back to the top of this domed crystal. Well, that's interesting. The screw just fell out, so make sure to check your screws. Let me pause the video and put that back in. I don't know, maybe I should have edited that portion out, but my fault. I guess I didn't tighten the screw down all the way. And since we're here, here's a look at the links. 3-link bracelet, solid links, screw pins. And again, make sure you tighten down your screw pins or use some form of thread lock. I never do, but there we go. So back to the review. We have a Miyota 9075 true GMT movement, which is 8 beats per second, 42 hours power reserve, hand winding and hacking. So hand winding, it's a screw down crown. I just unscrewed the crown. First position is hand winding. So you're turning the the gears in there, and you're tightening up that spring to power the watch. Next position out, we are going to be then changing the local time. So that local hour hand goes in either direction, and that's actually how you change the date as well. And I just did change the date to today's date. So for me, I think I actually prefer the Traveler or the Caller GMT. This is a Traveler GMT where you can just change the date, because I had to go back I think 10 days. So it took a little bit of time to counter rotate that hour hand to get the date back there. Then all the way out, we will be changing the local time and the GMT time. So this is how you would set your watch to the time. Anyway, let's put the crown back in. Screw it back down. And that is a signed, looks to be lumed screw down crown. We'll check that out in a minute here. Bracelet, we do have quick release here, and that's a solid end link, solid links with screw pins. And this is a yet again a new style Zelos clasp with a new style of on-the-fly quick adjust. This is more like the Tudor T-Fit clasp. In fact, it looks almost like a dead-on copy of that. I'll upload another video here. I'm going to compare this to my Tudor Ranger. So it works well. Pull it down, pull it out. Actually looks like I still have some plastic on there. So get that out of there. Did not notice that in the week I've been wearing it, so that's kind of funny. And then I think you can just, you can just push it back in. So pull it down, pull it out, and then you can just push it back in without having to pull it down. So nice system there. Here's another look at how it works. There's a tooth in there which engages with these slots. All right, let's zoom out a little bit, and we'll get this on wrist after we compare it to my SKX, which is right here. Kind of a similar size, 41mm versus 42. But again, that thickness is it's a thick watch. It doesn't look like it here. I think the majority of that, a lot of that is from the crystal. Actually, I did measure from the case back to the ceramic bezel here. That's 13 mils. So then the other 2 mils comes from this domed crystal here. My SKX is 13.5, so another 1.5 mils thicker on the Zelos here. So I measured the tip to tip of the male links, 52.5mm. Lug to lug, 46.3mm. Case diameter, 41mm. 16mm thick. The website lists it at 12.5, so that's a 2.5mm difference there, delta of 2.5mm. 20mm lug width here, and it tapers down to 18. 6.3mm signed, loomed, screw down crown. And size for my 6.5-inch wrist, it weighs in at 168 grams. So it's a bit of a heavy watch as well. But again, also it's rated to 300 meters of water resistance. I think I need to tighten this. Oh, we're all the way there. So there we go. Here it is on my 6.5-inch wrist with 52mm wristband. So these male end links do technically slightly overhang my wrist. May not appear that way in the video perspective here. And they do slope down, so it's not really a big deal. The dial is gorgeous, and those indices, again, very well done with how good this watch looks. Not the biggest fan of the yellow and green, but it goes together. I think that, what is that? Is that the Oregon Ducks? I think that's their colors, green and yellow. I could be wrong though. All right, let's zoom out a little bit here. So yeah, it is, I mean, it's a thick watch for sure. It's a dressy diver with the GMT functionality. All right, let's take a look at the Lume. I'm sure it's going to be great with the Lume, as most all Zelos watches are. Well, I must say the Lume is quite nice on the Zelos, as to be expected. Looks like the bezel the GMT hand, and the second hand Lume is the BGW9, and then the hands and the hour and minute hand, and then the indices are the C3 Lume. And there is my SKX 009 on the right. And most definitely the Zelos has better Lume than my 15-year-old SKX. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It really does help me out. And as always, thank you for your time, and thank you for watching.